Everybody, their brother, their sister, and their cat too, wants to know what Nintendo is releasing on the Switch later this year. We got Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion, and nothing. And as far as I see it, there are only 10 possible titles that can come out the rest of the year as first-party Nintendo Switch releases, and today we're going to go through them. Let me know in the comments down below which you'd be most excited to have, because I can guarantee you this, not all 10 will come out, but at least a few of these 10 definitely will. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. It helps support the channel a lot, and I do appreciate it. I don't appreciate Nintendo never letting us know what's going on. But piecing together different rumors, piecing together release cadence and schedule, past precedent, games that have popped up in terms of ratings but not popped up in terms of releases, games that we've known about but haven't shown up yet. We've got a list of 10, and I think these are the 10 games that could come out the rest of the year unless Nintendo releases a Switch 2, which they probably won't, so fear not. We're going to kick it off with the most obvious and easiest, which is Metroid Prime 4. I think there's a very high chance that Metroid Prime 4 drops this year, regardless of what happens with the Switch 2. Nintendo has kept under wraps Samus's latest saga for a long time. They dropped the Metroid Prime Remastered last year, and then nothing. I feel like based on some of the job listings we've seen, based on some of the rumors we've heard, based on insiders like Jeff Grubb saying they heard major marketing coming soon, Metroid Prime 4 is ready to bust out of its cocoon. And I think it's going to be one of the most brilliant Switch games. Of all the titles on this list of 10, this one has the most hype surrounding it, and this would be considered like the killer app, the big final hurrah for Nintendo Switch. It should come out, I hope it does soon, and I think it's going to be absolutely epic. Next up, we have another pretty easy one, because this one has popped up on the ratings board, and that would be Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. This is the game that Pierrot teased with his NES cart. We all thought it was a Switch 2 reveal. No, it's just a straight up NES remix style game, taking old platformers and having you pace through them with speedruns, challenges, and more. Could it end up being fun? Sure. But according to Necrophilippe and Pierrot, it is a $30 release and very much feels like a gap filler rather than some incredible new title. It's not really new at all, although they could add new elements, and I sure hope they do for 30 bucks. We should be seeing and hearing about this one officially soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if it released still in the first half of 2024. But what about a game you can play right now? Thankfully, today's episode is brought to you by Bombcat from Red Deer Games, which just dropped on the eShop and is a ton of fun. For $1.99, you're getting in on some epic 2048 style action, this time with cats. And as somebody who has a cat taking a bath right on my desk right now, here he is, a little cute kitty named Bowser. This boy, he loves this game. So buy it for Bowser. Click the link in the description down below to check out Bombcat. It's currently on sale for $1.99. It goes up to $6.99 later this month, but it actually is obsessive, addictive, puzzling fun, and the Bombcat, the title character, really can help you out or mess things up. A flame cat combines the Bombcat to make a big explosion and throw all your kitties across the screen, but sometimes it can open up gaps that allow you to get in there and score some extra points. So make sure to click the link in the description down below to check out Bombcat today. Every time you click the link, it helps support the channel, and I super appreciate that because I love making these videos and I want to do it as long as I possibly can. Next up, we have my personal favorite, the one I'd be most hyped for, and the one that also ties into recent delays. That would be a new Donkey Kong game dropping on Nintendo Switch, as DK is the main character who hasn't got his own Switch game. Out of Nintendo's entire lineup of A-listers, he's the one that hasn't seen a new debut on Switch. Popped up in Tropical Freeze, that's great. Popped up in Mario plus Rabbids DLC, that's nice. Popped up in Smash Bros. Ultimate, voila. But his new DK game, where is it? Did they save it for Switch 2? Are they ready to drop it? Is it 2D or 3D? I don't know. But what I do know is that Donkey Kong was a big success in the Mario Bros. Movie, voiced by Seth Rogen. There was even some rumors that he'd get his own movie. And we know that the theme park for Donkey Kong is opening later this year. Now that's interesting because Donkey Kong was supposed to open at Universal Studios Japan this spring, and it got pushed back towards the end of 2024. The park doesn't open in America until summer 2025 in Universal Studios Orlando, but it's interesting that they did delay the park. Now, it could just be construction progress, and they need to take more time to get that DK coaster ready to jump the tracks. Or could it be that there is a Donkey Kong game launching later this year, and it makes more sense to tie the two together to build ultimate hype? I can only hope. I'll keep my fingers crossed. This one would also be a game changer for me. But I think a game changer for a lot of you would be a Pokemon title. And I know we don't think there's a Pokemon title this year, but that doesn't mean that there isn't. Nintendo has such a small release list for 2024, I believe it would behoove them to announce Pokemon themselves. That is a headliner for a Nintendo Direct, and even though at the Pokemon Day presentation there was no 2024 release, Nintendo hates skipping Pokemon years. Therefore, I think a Pokemon Black and White remake could still be announced in 2024 and could still drop this holiday season. That would give Nintendo a massive seller for November. It would really help shore up any questions of how well the Switch can sell, how many software units can they drop before the next console. It would be a huge hit. And it's something that I don't think requires a ton of lead-up time because it would indeed be a remake. That puts us nearly halfway through a list, and none of these games are all that new, but that's because Nintendo is really relying on the past. And one they just renewed the trademark for is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Now they filed this over in Australia where it has a different title, but Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is a pretty nifty game. It came out on Wii U, it has like a clay art style, it's freaking beautiful, and I think it's a ton of fun. I honestly think this game is better than Super Princess Peach if you're going to compare like Nintendo Switch, more family-friendly titles. I think it's better than the Yoshi games. I like this one a lot. And bringing it back to Nintendo Switch with analog controls would be pretty nifty. It looks insanely amazing in color, vibrant, boom. So it would pop on the OLED, and this makes sense as something they'd like to bring back. Nintendo loves to release Kirby on the regular. Haven't had a Kirby this year, don't have a Kirby announcement. Probably not time for a new Kirby. Makes more sense to get Kirby and the Rainbow Curse back on Nintendo Switch. Now there also could be Zelda Wind Waker or Zelda Twilight Princess. Two separate games. I'm almost positive Nintendo would not release this as a double pack. That would be really cute, that would be really fun. Also would be cheaper, meaning Nintendo would like to milk us for more money. Both of these games should in theory be ready to go, and they could pop them out at any time. Now I do believe these will be retail releases, and I do think that they will probably come individually. Will they get a $50 price tag, or does Zelda command $60 no matter what? I'm leaning towards the latter. But I do think we could see either of these games very soon. Quick announcement, quick release. It makes sense. They're older titles, they're gap fillers, but they are ones that would draw a lot of attention. Now, before we get to the last few games on the list, I'll let you know that I'm not counting Metroid Prime 2 Echoes or Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, as those would be most likely eShop releases and most likely shadow drops. Those games, I guess, would make 12 possible titles for this year. If they are going to release Metroid Prime 4, they probably also release those in the lead up or shortly before main game launches. But I don't know if those would be physical releases. I don't know if that's something that you can buy in the store. You could buy Metroid Prime 1, but that was remastered. So would they do a double pack each game? Would they just sell them on the eShop? I'm not entirely sure. So that's sort of like the asterisk here. 2 extra games, but I didn't count them towards my list. What I did count though is finally a few different new titles. Mario Party Superstars 2 or Super Mario Party 2 could easily launch this year. We're due for another Mario Party. It is a mega seller and would be a really great tentpole piece on an otherwise empty holiday season. Pokemon and Mario Party are humongous sellers, and if Nintendo could somehow squeeze both games into 2024, they're selling oodles of units. They're selling 40 million units of those games, and that would be remarkable for a late year of Nintendo Switch. I'm excited for another Mario Party. I thought Superstars was awesome, everything I wanted from a nostalgic Mario done up in new graphics, but I think Super Mario Party also has a good foundation, and they could build on that with something really nifty. They most likely will save the next Mario Party more for a Switch 2 launch game, but it could easily be a cross-gen release or something that you just take over to your Switch 2, since we assume there will be backwards compatibility, and Mario Party could make a major move this holiday season when Nintendo doesn't really have anything else. Now, Mario Baseball is a title that is also due, given the prolific nature of Mario on Nintendo Switch. Don't have a ton of Mario this year. That could be the Mario game. I mean, I guess we got Mario vs. Donkey Kong and Paper Mario. Those are older Mario games, but a new Mario game in terms of a new Mario Baseball could be a summer slugfest. It wouldn't be as big of a hit as something like Mario Bros. Wonder or 3D Mario, obviously, but it could fill out the calendar nicely, and it's something that Nintendo has clearly been waiting to make. They've gone through their sports franchises with tennis and golf, and it's now time, I think, for baseball. That's a franchise that has multiple entries, and if Strikers Soccer can get on Switch, then Baseball Sluggers can get on Switch as well. I would think this could be a July, August, September release, and again, another nice multiplayer game to fill in the holes when you don't have a lot else. That brings us to our 10th and final title, which is Fire Emblem Remake. Now, I admittedly am not the biggest Fire Emblem fan, so I don't know about all the lore and history of which Fire Emblem they'd pick. It seems like they'd pick one from the Genealogy War, although we've heard other rumors, and maybe it's even another Fire Emblem Warriors title. It seems like some sort of Fire Emblem would be a great filler for 2024, as those games sell very well in Japan, but also sell well in North America, and the franchise has expanded hugely this generation. I also think it's an easier title to develop. It's, not as big as like a big open world 3D game, and so it probably has a shorter dev cycle, probably has an easier way to get out, and probably can make a good amount of money in an otherwise empty year. You'll notice that all these games would be like good hits in a normal year, but they're going to be even bigger if they do drop this year. Yes, there's a lot of older titles, but there still is room for some heavy brand new games as well. Things like Mario Party, Pokemon Black and White, Metroid Prime 4, and Donkey Kong can absolutely deliver knockout punches whatever month they drop. And I do think we'll get a handful of these. We're sure not getting 10 or 12 if you count the other Metroid Primes, but we will get some of these. And maybe Nintendo has a surprise up their sleeve, but I think they'd save all their surprises outside of this list for the next console. For me, Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong are my biggest wishes, but I'd love to see Mario Party and Kirby and the Rainbow Curse as well. Let me know which games you'd want on Switch out of this list of 10 in the comments down below. And everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. I love you lots. And until next time, SwitchForce out.